Hi, we're continuing our WSUS install. So let's just hit next. And we're going to select the language. Well, we've got English already selected, so that's good. That's all we need. Hit next. This is all the different types of possible products that we can get updates for. So there is a lot, which is why it took so long to actually find them all. Here's all of Windows. I'm going to untick that, and what we want is Windows clients 21H2 and later. I think we want those two, and we want those ones, and like Server 2019. We could just go Windows 10, period, and Windows 11's in there too. There you go. And Server 2019. So let's go Server 2019. Let's just go Windows 10. And I'll untick these because Windows 10 will cover it all. So this is going to get all the Windows 10 updates and all of Server 2019. Now we've also got a Server 2016 in our environment as well, which is our web server. So we might tick that one as well. Okay, so we can hit next. We're just going to get the critical updates, definition updates for things like the anti-malware. Okay, so it needs definition updates and security updates. Could also get update roll-ups and upgrades. That'll do. Yep, okay. There's a lot of stuff you can get. So here we could synchronize automatically, so we could set like a schedule, like once per day or at a specific time of the day, or once per month, or once every 7 days, whatever. We're just going to synchronize manually. And now you finish configuring your WSUS server, you can go launch WSUS administration console and start. Okay, begin initial synchronization, so we're going to tick that box there. Next. Create computer groups. We're going to go finish. Okay. So that's what's next to be done. So it's loading the SUS console, WSUS console. I'm going to maximize this. And if I click on this, we can see that the synchronizing has started. You can see the arrow. This is going to take a little while. We're starting at 7:48. It says AM for some reason. Last synchronized. Okay. Well, the time at the moment is 7:34 PM, so it's basically 12 hours later. Okay, so we'll just see what happens. This is synchronization set at 0% at the moment. We need to wait for that to get to 100%. There's the port number that I couldn't remember. We've got, it knows about 5 computers at the moment. So it's just a matter of waiting until this synchronization has finished, and then we can look at making sure that the particular updates are approved, and that way we can then deploy them to the client machines. Okay, we just popped up an error. Click reset server node to try and connect to the server again. Okay. I wonder what that was about. It's at 29%, so we'll let it continue and see what happens. Okay, so after innumerable, well, not innumerable, probably 3 or 4 errors, I went through and changed the products and classifications so that it's only looking at server 2016, and restarted the synchronization at 8:53. It's currently 9:18, so it's been going for 25 minutes, and it's up to 61%. So we shall see if it actually gets through and finishes a full synchronization. It does seem to be a little bit flaky and very dependent on the connection to the update server, which is the Microsoft updates. I'd probably look at setting this up actually on a weekend in a production environment. You'd set it up on a weekend so you've got sort of like good access to the servers. Now the problem is that the time that you try and synchronize, it all depends on how loaded the Microsoft servers are, I believe, so as to how long it takes to synchronize. So anyway, we'll just see how this goes. Okay, so it's finally finished synchronizing, and we now have 88 security updates waiting to be approved and 107 critical updates waiting to be approved. And so the synchronization has succeeded. It did do a couple of console errors, and I just restarted it. So that happens. Let's look at the updates. We'll look at all updates. And currently we can't see any unapproved. Let's go any and hit the refresh button. Okay, so there's a lot of Windows 10 stuff that I did in the initial, and then from then on it was like Server 2016. I was doing a lot of Server 2016 stuff. So there's a lot of Windows 10, and there's a lot of stuff for Server 2016. It's the Server 2016 I'm interested in at the moment, which is our web server. Okay, so what I can do is I'm going to click on this supersedence, and I'm also going to click on needed count. Okay, so that means the supersedence is all of the ones that replace all of the patches that they've been superseded. Okay, so this is the final ones to install. And I've also got, are there any computers that need any of these things here? Now at the moment I probably don't have any computers registered, so that's why this needed is all 0. Okay. So if I just click on a server 2016, computers with no status is 2, and computers installed not applicable is 3. So I wonder what that looks like. Okay, so cancel. That's redistributors required for this feature. Okay. Articles there. Okay, so let's go have a look at the computers. All computers. Let's go any and hit the refresh. Okay, so here's all of the computers, and we've got DC1, DC2, branch office DC. So where's the web server? There's no server 2016. Interesting. I'm assuming that it's running. There's the web server. Okay, so if this thing doesn't show, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run a GP update /force on this machine here, so it knows that what that will do is that will tell it that the group policy for where the update server is, and so what I can do is try and register an update event here. Okay, so we'll type in this command. Detect now. Okay, so I just did that a few times. So what we'll do now is see if this is now registered itself with the WSUS server. So let's whiz back to the WSUS server, which is this one here, and we'll do a refresh. Okay, I'm not seeing it, still not seeing it. And hit the refresh there. Okay. So one computer needing updates. If I have a look at that, that's server 2019. Okay, that one will do to deploy something to. So let's go to updates needed by computers for. These are all the 2019 ones. Currently they're not approved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to approve them. Approve for installation and go OK. So that's success on all of those. And these are the approved ones, and these are the needed ones. Okay, so back to our console here, and we can see here the updates needing files 3, so it's going to pull down. You can see it's downloading the files already, and so it's pulling down 1.5 gigabytes worth of files so far. So it's just a matter of waiting until that happens. So it says it's already pulled down one file, and that was within that first lot of megabytes, and it's still that first 54 megabytes, and then the other 3 files are these, the other, because we authorized 4, but still another 3 to come. Okay, so, and this is the computer that we saw here was the branch office 1 DC1. So we're going to have a look at that computer. That's the web server, and so this one here is the branch office 1 DC1. If I look at the GP, where the administrator here, so GP update / force, whoops, helps if you can spell it. If we have a look at the updates, there they are. You can see these are being managed by our organisation. So once these things are finished being downloaded, we're going to do a check for updates, and it should pop up those 4 updates that have been downloaded, and install them. Okay, so now it's just a matter of waiting for this stuff, and we're nearly there actually. Normally what I would do is I would maybe create an organisational unit or a group, or put a test machine in there, run the updates and make sure that everything was going okay before I actually deployed it out into a production environment. You really want to do that. You really want to test it all first. Normally, traditionally Microsoft used to have it was called Patch Tuesday, because they released all their patches on a Tuesday, and so Wednesday I would download all the patches and apply them to some test machines. Thursday I would look at any of the boards around the place, like Bug Track and places like that, to see if anybody else was having problems with these particular patches or updates. And so it'd be sort of like internet research, find out if everything's going okay. And if it was, then what I'd do then is apply on Friday, so that I've got the weekend to fix anything if things go wrong. So that was my general strategy for deploying updates and patches. Okay, so I'm going to check for updates. Because the downloaded ones, they've been downloaded. And so we can see that these are now downloading and pending installs. So let's have a look at the updates. So if we have a look at these updates, can we see some of the KB? Okay, so you can see here the 5.7206. This is one of the updates that we've just downloaded. So it's getting these off our WSUS server and installing them. Okay, so It's getting it from here. And we've got, what was the other one? 5680. So that's 5680 there. So one's a security update and the other one's a cumulative update. And I'm imagining 9 and 10 are redundant and 11 is the one that's required. It's sort of like the latest one. And so what we've got is 11 2021, the latest one, and we've got this one here. So it sort of makes sense that it's downloading and installing two, and not necessarily these two here, because these are 2110 and 2109, and the 2111 is the cumulative update, so it's the latest one. So this stuff here makes sense. So I would take a screen capture of all of this. So I'd go print screen, and I'd go, here is my WSUS working. My updates are downloading and installing, and we can see that the group policy is the thing that's handling that. So I'm going to save that as not in AWS. I'm going to put it on the desktop actually. So this one is the WSUS. WSUS working. So that would go into the document that we need, like the assessment. Okay, so that ends the installation of WSUS, and we'll see these things do their install. There's no reason why they wouldn't. So this is downloading the update off here. It's a long 99%. Oh, we finally got to 100. Yep. Okay, so we're installing that first one, and then we're installing the cumulative update. Okay. So in the next video, I'll move on to quotas, which that doesn't take very long, and moving the FSMO roles, both through the or from the command line and also through the GUI. Through the GUI is done when the original machine is still running and you want to gracefully move from one computer to the other, the role. Seizing it via a command line is generally done when one of the servers has crashed and died, and you need to retrieve those roles off that server and put them onto another one. But you'd basically only do that when that server was never coming back up again. Anyway, so that'll be discussed in the next video. Okay.